Councilmember Williams.
I'm here.
Councilwoman Anita. Here. Councilwoman Faith Ford. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Hugh. Here. Councilwoman Amanda. Here. Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Okay. May I please have a silent 1 minute prayer? Before we do the flag, can I make sure, amen? Before we do the flags, can I make sure the phones are silenced, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And can I please, Aaron, I'm gonna put out here approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion, please, to move? Councilmember Amanda. Can I get a second? Councilmember Chu. Councilmember Amanda. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to add one thing to the agenda. I'm requesting as a status update on the hiring of a town clerk. I only just need an update on it, so maybe 3 minutes or so.
Okay,
Councilwoman Chu,
yes, ma'am.
just wanted to, excuse Councilmember James from the meeting today.
With the town clerk update after the financial report of PA grant.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay, Ms. Wren, we're good with the agenda. Meeting rules, please.
Rules for speakers. The mayor and council invite and welcome comments at public meetings. The mayor or chair will recognize you. Please introduce yourself at the podium. Spell your last name for recording purposes and give the name of your street and block number. Example, 4300 block of 34th Street. Time limits for speaking are indicated on the meeting agenda. While speaking, please maintain courteous tone and avoid personal attacks. If you wish to lodge a complaint about the performance or conduct of any town employee, please bring your concern to the attention of town administrator, who will look into the matter and respond to you. As a courtesy to the other residents and businesses, the council requests that speaker not use specific addresses or names of the individuals when describing a situation or making complaint unless the name or address is essential to an understanding of the situation or complaint. Noting the block is preferred over a specific address. Code enforcement and public safety issues should be brought to the attention of the appropriate department. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna backtrack. Thank you, Ms. Wren. I had a misunderstanding. I assumed that when Mayor Pro Tem Chu, I thought she had put an approval on the floor, and I think she was asking for the floor, just like Councilwoman Amanda. So let me backtrack and say, can I get a motion to approve the agenda with the additions?
Forward, so moved.
Yes, ma'am. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any nays? Okay, thank you both, Councilwoman Ford and Councilwoman Anita, for correcting me on that. Thank you. Okay, so we'll go next to the public comments.
Afternoon, Dr. Lillian Pitts.
Oh, you wanna come up here, ma'am? Or where do you wanna go?
Testing.
My voice is probably loud enough. I'm from Alabama.
And what street are you on?
I originated right at the corner, 26 Capitol
You
Heights,
don't have to do that, just the street.
26 Capitol Heights Boulevard. Where my family, I really took the interest myself.
Yeah, that's okay, you're on Capitol Heights Boulevard.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, okay, you can proceed, please.
So created Project Reach Out. My family came together and was concerned with the kids in the street. So I had to get the approval of my family to allow the kids to play on our family ground. While getting the approval, I was acknowledged by Mayor Miller at the time, was the mayor, and Councilmember James was councilman. And he kept coming by and asked what was I doing with the kids because it was getting to be pretty big, you know. I just wanted them to be safe, you know. When Mayor Miller found out, when he found out about what my family was doing with their own money, he made the town aware. My brother runs Roland Construction Company. That's where they travel the world and we replenish the cities that's been like New Orleans and Katrina and all of our tragedy cities that we have, the storms have actually taken a toll on, that we have to help them after all of this damage has been done. We created Project Reach Out, and with Councilmember James and Councilmember Miller, we created Bridges Crossing Over to New Cities because we wanted the help to go further. With the help with the Mission of Love Ministry, we connected with Bread for the City, which is supposed to be here today. Just thanking the town of Capitol Heights for the great opportunity to be a member and to be able to have space to show growth in our incorporated town of Capitol Heights. Since then, Mayor Barry was one of the first mayors that acknowledged us in Ward 8. We stayed over with LaRuby Maid, now with Trayon White, who was also someone from his team was supposed to be here as well. He's very busy. He's just got reelected into office and now this is new for Project Reach Out because we've been using my family money. We never had to do anything informal. And when we did, we just contacted you all's office. The program has been growing, recognizing the town of Capitol Heights, as, a Maryland, our organization trying to cross over. This has never been done before. For us to cross over into the district or the district to try to cross over here and team up together. So we was trying to do a pendant 3 years ago for all of our council members here and the council members over in Ward 8, but COVID was going on. And so we had to hold off because you all was working from home. And now we're trying to do it again. Project Reach Out has really been growing in the Ward 8, something that's never been done before and came from right here in Capitol Heights. They really didn't think we was capable because they considered us as small, but I acknowledged to them, all of the members put together, standing strong can form a mighty strong fist if we work together for the betterment of all of our people, children, the seniors. Mr. Coy Dunston is the owner, CEO of Secrets of Nature, who has been helping Ward 8 for over 40 years. All of our council members, mayors, Trayon White, his wife, caring for them and making sure that they are well, who is extending over into the town of Capitol Heights, the wellness program for our seniors and our youth. which is really big, and we want to thank you so much for that. So it's just very grateful to be a part of this meeting and the upcoming of what's going on. We are extending as well living arrangements. And my dividend, who was supposed to present all of these things to you, is still trying to find one Capitol Heights Boulevard. But on behalf of Project Reach Out, we are honored to be here today, to be a part of this meeting, and to be a part of the upbringing and the growing process for the betterment of the town of Capitol Heights and the Ward 8 members to show everyone that we are all one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Great presentation. Thank you for sharing that with us. Come back again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any more comments? Anything? Okay. We have now Argos Penrose. Is Mr. Cotto on the call?
Yes, hi, good evening, Mayor.
Hold on. There is some concern, tremendous concern back and forth. I know we get the reports, we get the emails, we've got the requests for the grant, we've got the request for the town to take out the loan. And I know the council has a lot of questions, so can you share some information and also give us where you are insofar as securing monies, Mr. Cotto? You have the floor.
Yeah, I'm joined by Patrick Bateman, Roberto Cardenas, and Dorothy Henson, our team for the project. I think and I'll let Pat sort of review the latest report that we shared with you. But as you know, this is a 120 unit retail project. The overall cost of the project is $53 million. To date, we have a gap of $8 million, which we're seeking to close. In our report, we've obviously mentioned that we've pursued, and obviously the town is aware of it because we've reached out to the town for assistance. We've been pursuing sources of funding. We've been very diligent in that effort. And we continue to be diligent. That's sort of the sum of it. Obviously, we're excited to be, we're always open to speaking with the town council because we believe this is a team effort. With that, I'll sort of pass it on to Pat Bateman so he can sort of give you an update more specifically.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Good evening to the council. It's always good to come and give you updates. I can talk a little bit about what's happened, kind of what was on the monthly report and the progress we've made just within the last couple months. As Dennis mentioned, we applied for $1.8 million in federal home loan bank funding that would come in to the project as a grant. We were unable to apply for DHCD funding for the state revitalization programs, but that is an application that comes out every June. So we're already marking the calendars for applying for that next June when the project's a little more underway. And we've also been talking with the Build America Bureau, which is they offer a federal direct loan, so it works like a first mortgage, but they offer a much more competitive interest rate. And so we've submitted 3 submissions to them now, and that could potentially, just because of the more competitive interest rate, add another $3.5 million to the bottom line of the project. So as Dennis mentioned, we've been diligently pursuing these not insignificant sources of funding. We're continuing to do that. I did note in the monthly report that we were setting up a meeting with the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. They're the government agency that administers the tax credits. So our 9% application that we submitted in December went into them. And what we've heard from their secretary, Jake Day, is a lot of excitement about the project, although it was not funded. We do have a meeting set up with them for August 5th that we're looking forward to. And they've said, quote, we love this project. So that's the first step, is to get back in front of them, get some additional support, some additional funding commitments from the state. We're going to include Prince George's DHCD in that meeting, who, as you recall, has already committed $9.3 million to this project, as well as a payment in lieu of taxes. And we think with their commitment to the Blue Line Corridor that if the state steps up and provides more soft funding, then they will as well. So we're putting ourselves in a position where we're getting closer, and we are, I just want to point out that we're doing everything we can to adhere to the LDA that we have with the town. It is our first priority to lay out with Maryland DHCD the process for submitting a 4% tax credit application, which is kind of as of right. Those don't get rejected. They're not competitive. If you're able to submit a 4% application and pull together a project, then you get those credits and that project moves forward. So in the spirit of keeping this moving and sticking with the LDA, we are going to be having that conversation with the state and saying, yes, we're going to be bringing you a 4% application this year. There might still be some funding gaps in it, but we'll work with them throughout the process as we continue to move the project forward. Because again, we're very, very committed to moving this forward. We know that various other folks as well. We've had several conversations with Delegate Alston, as well as Senator Benson, who I believe may be attending the meeting on August 5th with the state. And there's just entirely too much support at the county and state level to not be excited. Although we do have a significant hurdle to overcome yet in terms of financing. There's too much going for this project to not be excited to see what kind of progress we can make by the end of the year. So that's a long-winded recap of what I put in the report for July. And I think probably a good place to kick off and start with any questions that Mayor Monroe, you mentioned the town had.
And I also want to clarify from Patrick, correctly, but we have so far identified more than 90% of the sources that we're going to need for this project. So the project is 53 million. We are, according to my numbers here, close to 48 that we have identified. We get either ready to apply, or we have already applied for some of them. So the gap that we have is less than 10%. Just to give you an overall picture where we are. That's to me, that's great progress so far.
Okay, is that, okay, so that's the gist of your briefing?
Yes,
Okay, so you're open for questions, correct?
yes.
Okay, Councilwoman Anita?
Good evening. I have several questions. You said the project overall is gonna cost 53 million?
Correct.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes, that's correct.
and you're over 90%, you required over 90% of the funding?
We've secured 90% of the funding.
And then I would say identified or have applied or in the process of applying for.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so that's two different things. You actually have 90% of the funding, or you have some funding and or eyesight on things that will get you to the 90%?
That's the latter is correct. We have secured a pretty significant amount. We have identified the remaining sources that we can utilize. And to Gilberto's point, we've identified about 90% of the financing, have applied for, are in the process of applying for, or are preparing applications for.
Okay, now you said, you talked about a federal direct loan. that's, will give you 3.5 million, that will be added, is that what you're counting as part of your 90%, your projected?
No, not,
So
not
that's-
currently counting that.
Okay,
So to break that down a little bit more, currently it's everyone's familiar with Fannie Mae. It's a Fannie Mae backed loan that we're currently underwriting to, and it's with a bank that we've done a lot of projects with in the past, and that is around $11 million if you look on the monthly report. You know, that's a typical secured mortgage, first position loan like you would have on your house. And interest rates where they are, it's right around 6.5%, 7%. The federal loan is a loan that's set aside to benefit public infrastructure. So the federal program is, they set aside dollars for improving areas in TOD areas, of which this is one, being located so close to a metro station. And they view affordable housing as public infrastructure. So the entire project is eligible for them to loan funds against, and it would just replace the first mortgage, which we're currently assuming is a Fannie Mae product, with something with a similar loan. However, the interest rate would be about 4.5%. So because the interest rate is so much lower, your payments are lower, you can afford to borrow more and make higher payments. It's just as if you got a better interest rate on your personal mortgage, you're able to borrow more money to fund, in that case, your home. It's the same, it works the same way.
okay, I have a 2-part question, which is the last. One of which, how long have you all been on this project? Trying to secure all of the money? I don't quite remember it all, so maybe you all can tell me how long you all have been trying to secure all of this money. As well as the second part of that question would be, and how long or how much longer do you anticipate before we even start breaking ground or doing anything with this project at this time? Because it seems like it's been ongoing for quite a long time.
I forget the date when we signed the LDA. I don't know if, Pat, if you remember, it's,
This is April 2022, I think, or maybe May.
yeah. So we really obviously couldn't begin any significant effort until the LDA was signed. So yeah, April 2022, that's when we signed the LDA. So, and of course, when we signed it, I think the woman who spoke during public comments, she also mentioned the fact that COVID took place. So that paused any tax credit applications. I think it was for, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, but it might have been a year or so. I guess I forget what the delay was, but there was there was a pause in applications. So the short answer is that after we signed the LDA, we lost about a year or so, maybe. So I forgot, again, what the delay was on applications. So the short answer is that we signed the LDA in 2022, April, but things were delayed because of COVID.
Yeah, it was about a 20-month delay. So the LDA was signed just a little too late to apply for credits, the 9% credit in April of 2022. And they didn't hold another round until December of 2023.
Yeah.
And we tried to make the project work as a 4% project. We realized, it scores pretty well as a 9. I've already kind of gone through why it didn't quite score well enough, just because of the floodplain issues and not being able to build enough large units for it to score competitively. And ultimately, that's why our December 9% application was not awarded. And as to go off of that, we doubled down on this again, being a single 4% project. Initially realizing it scored as a 9, it took a lot of pressure off needing to get this additional $8 million in soft funding. But as we've had more and more conversations with the state, with the county, with local delegates, senators, realizing the support this project has, it's looking more and more promising as a 4% project. And like I said, we're going to be submitting that application by the end of the year. Whether or not we have every single financing commitment in place, we can at least start the tax credit process with the state and start getting into design and doing the actual floodplain study and engineering and all of the really lengthy approvals that I'm sure you're aware of are required in Prince George's County, having both DPI and park and planning kind of at the table, and you know the amount of steps they put in the process to get a development like this realized and permitted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, council questions? This is Councilwoman Chu. So right now you're telling us, the council, and maybe I didn't hear it correctly. Councilwoman Anita Anderson asked, you right now have secured, meaning that you have the 90% funding for the project. Is that correct?
No.
No?
They have pursued.
Okay, okay. Let me reiterate that. She said that you guys are pursuing up to 90% of the project. My only concern is, and I have this all the time when you guys come and speak, is because this actually started back in 2018. And of course, we've been back and forth. And then we found that a lot of things were not done. And some of it pertained to COVID, some didn't pertain to COVID. Then you guys came in, you wanted to sue the town, but then you found out that we did not sign the LDA. So then we came back to the table. And that's when we came back with a different contract, LDA. And we had two council members sign the LDA. And in 2022, and then you told us that you were going to submit an application in December of 2023. You was going to submit an application this year in April of 2024, which I don't know if you guys submitted the application or you submitted it and you was not selected for the reward. I don't know which one. And now you're telling us that you're going to submit another application in December of this year and another application in June of next year. So if we go all the way back, that's 2018, and we look and we're going into 2025, so that's about 9 years we have been trying to deal with building on this land. We have a lot. Let me finish. We have a lot of economic development coming around us, and we've been actually, I guess, dealing with this piece of the land that's inside the town of Capitol Heights for quite some time. We have WMATA get ready to start and get ready to break ground and build. Now, I don't know. I mean, what are your expectations in terms of breaking ground for that land? I know there's a process. I know the things you have to do, but from 2018 to 2025 is a long time. And I think at this point, I don't know. I don't know. I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, because we've been doing this for quite some time. So what can you tell us, or what can you really give us to satisfy our, you know, anxiety on this? Because you keep telling us, but I haven't seen documents. Have you seen the financial statements? Have you seen any finance from the company? We haven't seen anything from Argos that says in writing factual documents that say we are here at $40 million or $50 million. This is where we are. Financial statements or anything. We haven't seen anything. And we have to keep telling our residents when they ask about the land, oh, they're going to build, they're going to build. And our residents get tired of hearing that. So I'm just asking for valid
valid and factual data so that we can be comfortable when our residents ask us questions, because this has been going on for quite some time. And
Yeah.
one other thing, you said there's a meeting August the 5th. Is that meeting open to everyone? Because I would like to attend that meeting.
Do you?
I yield.
Okay, just so you know, was that Mr. Cotto trying to answer?
Yes.
Okay, I always say respectfully. Because of the way we conduct our meetings. If someone has the floor, you have to wait to be called on by the chair,
Understood.
okay? And you do not interrupt the person speaking. I say that respectfully. Okay,
Yep.
so now
Yep.
you may, if you want to speak, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to say that the, 2 points, response. One is, I always use April 2022 as a starting point because we didn't have a signed LDA agreement and that was out of our control. Can't start anything unless you have an agreement in place. So I think, quite honestly, that is the starting point. And secondly, in terms of, we provide the monthly updates show our sources of funding. So we are sort of disclosing, what we have, what we've applied for, and what we're pursuing. I mean, we've been very transparent about that. I think, Pat, if you want to go into more detail about, anticipation. I mean, and I think, of course, Pat mentioned that we were applying for a 4%, which is not competitive. And I think I should make that clear. It's not like a 9% where it is competitive and you're not sure if you're going to secure those funds. 4% is not competitive. So I want to make that clear. Yeah. Okay, Pat.
Okay, you want to yield to your colleague? If you
Yes.
recognize
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Bateman? Okay. all right.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the monthly report is the best source at this point to understand the sources that we're pursuing for this project. And it's not about getting the funding, it's about getting commitments at this point, which is exactly what we're doing and what we're trying to do. Nobody, for instance, the low income housing tax credit it flows through the project, it's purchased by an investor, and they don't put all the money into the project until it's not 100% into the project until well after the project is even constructed. Just like a personal mortgage, you don't get, when you find a house and put a contract on it, you don't get money from the bank until you close, and then they put their money into the project. And in this case, it's not even all of it. So all of these sources are designed to come in slowly, start coming into closing. But even, Prince George's County, when they commit $2 million to a project like this, comparatively, they've committed a lot more to this project, which is great. But they'll hold back 10% of the money until you're totally done with construction and you've submitted the contractor's cost certification. So it's really about getting commitments. And again, like I said, we're going to be meeting with the state, and they're going to, we're going to be having a frank conversation with them that, like, this project needs to keep moving. We're not going to be able to submit a tax credit application to you that shows 100% of sources have been committed, which is one of their requirements. But in the interest of keeping it moving, we're gonna ask them to work with us on that, in addition to giving us more funding. So
And if
I'm sorry. I just want to say I just want the council to understand that we're making some unusual maneuvers here, and we're leveraging these relationships that we've had, working with Maryland DHCD and Prince George's DHCD for years and years, to have these conversations and get the support for the project, and be able to go in and say, look, it's not all figured out, but here's how we want to do it so that we can keep it moving and break ground as quickly as we can. So I can yield back to Dennis.
No, I can I will call Mr. Cotto. Okay, okay, Mr. Cotto, you want to have the floor?
Well, I think, I think, I think, I was gonna yield back to Pat so that he can address, Councilman Chu's question about anticipation of breaking ground, right? I think that was, one of Councilman Chu's questions. And, I forget our last schedule of performance that we submitted, but, I don't know if you want to address that, Pat.
And let me tell you how it works again. You yield the floor, and
Oh,
then you yield the floor, you don't yield it back. You
Okay, yield
yield
the,
the floor, and I will, if he wants to speak, then I will, recognize him, Mr. Bateman. So is Mr. Bateman ready to speak again?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Bateman, okay.
All right. Thank you. The last thing you'll see in the monthly reports is a quick schedule breakdown that is backed up by a complex Microsoft project schedule we have with 300 or 400 lines in it that gets into great detail. We have a civil engineer selected, Soltez. They've done a lot of work in Prince George's County. They know the process through and through. And they've put together a detailed schedule, which we're using and building into our schedule. So you will not see a project like this get through park and planning and permitting in less than 18 months. It just doesn't happen. So at this point, we've laid out applying for the credits later this year, and then hitting the ground full steam ahead early next year. And that would put us at like early to mid, somewhat conservatively, 2026 breaking ground, which is anticipated to take potentially a little bit longer because we're going to have to work through the 100-year floodplain issue with DPI. That's going to be a little bit complicated. We've gotten from them their comfort in our site plan and the building as we've shown it previously, but it's still going to add time to the process to get through the full floodplain study, get their comfort with building the building as designed and building a building that will fit on this pretty constrained site when you start to look at the concrete channel and what the 100-year flood looks like. So that snippet of the schedule is in the monthly report. I'm happy to put more detail into it next month, so you can see a little bit more what's going on. But that's built off of a civil engineer who has decades of experience in Prince George's County and some pretty large comparable redevelopments that we being Penrose have also done recently. If you look down in Glen Arden, and what we've done there with that 27-acre redevelopment. So thank you. That's it.
Oh, sorry, Richard, I just have one.
Councilwoman Chu,
Is it possible that your organization can provide to the council and mayor, when you provide your reports, can you provide a schedule to us? Meaning like a project schedule, say for instance, in that schedule, you'll say, applying for 4% loan application date, whatever. Then at the end of that date, it states on that schedule, you was awarded or not awarded. Because I think that would be a lot better for us to see items like that. So it really assures us that things are in progress and things are moving forward. So if you have some type of schedule that you can send with your documentation, that will be great also.
Okay.
I yield. Sorry, I yield.
okay, Mr. Cotto,
no, I agree. That makes perfect sense. And I think I agree with Councilperson Chu. I think we will definitely provide that.
any your questions? Anyone?
Councilmember Vega,
Yes, ma'am.
the only question that, a lot of information has been helpful for me. that I just want to make sure that it's transparent and that I truly understand is what exactly is hindering the funding from coming in at a faster rate or at a speedier existence. Is there any particular, is it an entity, a process, a commitment, a partner, a stakeholder that is hindering you from achieving the funding? And if so, what exactly is hindering that? I yield.
Gentlemen,
Pat?
Yeah, that's a loaded question because of the amount of sources we're pursuing. So for instance, the Federal Home Loan Bank application went in May. Again, that was for $1.8 million. Typically, we see those come back in like 6 months, and you find out if you got an award or not an award. That's a big entity, a big process, managed by some of the larger banks in the country. Something like that is hard to speed up, frankly. There's the federal dollars I was mentioning with the better interest rate through the Department of Transportation earlier. That could mean as much as $3.5 million. That's a brand new federal program. We have some of the smartest finance people are working with the federal government right now to figure out how to actually get those dollars into projects. And we'll submit an LOI to them, and it'll take them 6 weeks to look at it. It's hard to kind of quantify what really specifically would help. What I will say though is with I would encourage the town to kind of be loud about it. The biggest hurdle for us now is getting additional funding and getting support from Maryland DHCD. So Secretary Jake Day, he's the one who has a ton of power in awarding soft funding to projects and getting these things moving forward. And so I would encourage the town to reach out to Delegate Alston and reach out to Senator Benson and ask them to reach out to the secretary, or reach out directly to Secretary Day himself. And reaching out to the county executive's office. They've expressed so much support for Blue Line corridor projects, and the way that they support them is through Prince George's DHCD. So that, the county executive ultimately makes the decisions through that arm, what projects to fund and what projects to support. So I would say the parts that we control or have influence on are through those entities. And I'm happy to provide people that the council could reach out to kind of make some noise about this project. And I think, the more noise we make, we're certainly making a lot already, the more attention we'll get.
okay? Questions?
Yeah, Councilwoman Ford, okay. Thank you for the information. I appreciate it. I'm at this point, I really have very low confidence in the project. I do understand we need development. I just wanted to put that out there. I do appreciate you all suffering long to try to get the funding needed so that we can have economic development in the town. It's just not going as planned. I would like to understand the dollars that you have in the report. Understand in terms of how much you actually have. I know you've identified the sources, but do you have or are you able to include in there some specifics as to what amount is secured, what amount is in process, and you have some additional amounts at the bottom? How is that applicable to the total at the top? I just need some clarification with that.
Okay. So I guess it would be helpful for me to provide some color to that right now, but then also going forward, put more detail into the monthly report.
Let me start back. Did you yield the floor for him to answer? Yes, that's okay. If you have, you want to ask more than one, and then you, how you want to do it?
I just want to wake it up. I follow whenever it's short.
Okay, she yielded, she gets the floor back. Go ahead, sir, please.
Thank you. So I can definitely add more, much more detail to the report if, I have it pulled up now and I can just kind of run down the list here with some more information. But as I mentioned, the Fannie private loan is there for about $11 million. That's not something that is awarded or anything like that. Again, that's just like a mortgage on your home. We say, to the bank that we have this relationship with, we say, here's our project. Here's what the numbers look like. They'll do their own underwriting. And that all happens in the background while we're out trying to get site plan approvals and permitting and all that kind of stuff. And then, M&T Bank will be satisfied with the underwriting and they'll say, based on the income and interest rate, you can borrow $11 million. So that's, conversations we've had. That's not money that would be committed until right before you close. But I mean, that's the business that banks are looking for. That's like a surefire thing.
It's a surefire thing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, he's yielding. You done, Mr. Cotto, for now?
Well, I wanted to speak.
But hold on, Mr. Bateman, please. Mr. Cotto, are you done for now?
No, Mr. Bateman was speaking.
Mr. Bateman, okay, who's trying to speak now?
Mr. Cotto.
Okay, forgive me for that error. Okay, I'm assuming he's yielded, Mr. Cotto, please.
Yeah, I think and also to sort of, clarify what Pat Bateman just said, whether it's the $11 million that Pat Bateman referenced, we've run our numbers. So we sort of know what we're qualified for, right? I think I want to make that clear. I don't want to be too technical and say that, yes, the money doesn't show up until closing. We've run our numbers, so we know what we can, what monies we can source, right? So, I just wanted to make that clear. And of course, yeah, those monies don't appear until closing, but we've run our numbers and we know what's going to be approved and what's not going to be approved, I guess.
Can I interject with one question? Yeah.
Okay, do you yield on that one?
Yes.
Okay, Councilwoman Ford still has the floor.
Yeah, so I see the 6 million here. So I see that's the additional funding needed. So you're saying that's the only funding that you would say is not pretty much in the pocket. Is that what we're saying?
Yield for an answer?
I yield.
She yields for an answer.
I would like to answer, please.
Yes, sir.
I would not. No, that's going back to the conversation earlier of like what's been identified, what we're in the process of pursuing versus what's committed. I would not say that's in the bag. I would say, the $11 million that's a process that I would say that's a certainty. Onto, I want to point out again that the $7 million and the $2.2 million from Prince George's DHCD, those are committed. And that's a massive amount of funding to have received from the county. I've not seen that level of funding on a project that I've worked on, that commitment. And again, we're going to be going back to them and asking for more. The Maryland DHCD RHW, that's about $4.5 million. Those are monies that typically come with the 4% tax credit. So again, the 4% credit is not competitive. If you have a project that works and you submit an application, in Maryland, you get the credits. And with that typically comes $3.5 million because this is a TOD project. There's a 30% boost. So I would say we're a long way from saying, yeah, that $4.5 million is in the bag, but it's kind of an as of right source that comes with the tax credits. Then the last, big number there is the actual tax credit equity. You know, 4% credit is not competitive. And then what we do is after we submit a tax credit application, we solicit proposals from 20, 30 investors that we've done deals with for decades. And they come back and they offer us a price to purchase the tax credit for. And that's the money that comes into the project as tax credit equity. So again, I'd say we're a long way from saying that money's in the bag, but that's a typical process that we work through frequently. And I'd say it's pretty much a sure thing. So when you really distill it down to what is there and what's missing, we're missing $6.7 million, as you can see in the gray. We have secured $9.3 million from Prince George's County. That amount of money is what I would say is like what's not a sure thing. So we've already secured, $9.3 million out of 16 million. And, we've identified these other sources to pursue. One of which we've already applied for, the 1.8 million. So of the monies that aren't these surefire processes that we go through on each project, we've already secured well more than half of the $17 million hole that was here. And, we've identified more. And like I said, we're asking for more from stakeholders, and I'm optimistic about it because of the level of support that we've gotten from many different levels. So with that, I'll yield the floor.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, Councilwoman Ford has the floor, but after Ford, I may go to see if Councilman Williams has anything. And then we're going to have to stop because we're way over our 20 minutes now. Okay, Councilwoman Ford.
Sure. Just in summary, what I've asked earlier, if you would include those details in the report, that would be most appreciated. If you need more clarity as to the details I'm requesting, I'll be happy to email TA. And she can forward TA and Mayor, and they can have that information forwarded to you.
Okay.
Thank you. I yield, Mayor.
Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for the presentation. I have no question that, well, I do. Are you saying that the 16 million is the total sum of monies you've acquired toward this project?
He yielded for an answer.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would say that if you take out the things that are typical on every project, things like getting a first mortgage, right? Like the project will generate a certain amount of rent every year. The bank looks at that and says, okay, we will lend you $11 million that you'll pay back with rental income, just the way that anyone's personal mortgage works with their income. I'd say outside of items like that, items like the tax credits that, it is a lengthy process to go through, but the 4% credit is as of right. If you submit an application in Maryland, you get the 4% tax credit. So I'm saying excluding things like that, taking those out, you're left with money we've already received commitments on, and that's the $7 million from Prince George's DHCD and the $2,288,000 from Prince George's DHCD in home. Those are both home funds. We have received those commitments. And I'm saying if you take out that $9.3 million and you added it to the 6.7, you'd be looking at 16 million.
Yeah.
And I'm saying if you underwrote this project without going out and getting additional funding, you would have a $16 million problem. And what I'm saying is we've already gone out and solved for 9.3 million of that. And that's taking out things like, you know, a first mortgage, which is again just a process you have to go through to get the $11 million. So that's the point I was trying to make. I hope that's clear. I feel like it's not as clear as I want it to be. But I think, you know, I'll yield the floor.
No, I'm clear. Thank you. But quick question, are you doing anything on the federal level with HUD or any federal agency?
So HUD, direct funding from HUD is kind of unusual. You typically see it coming with public housing. Not, you know, the public housing program is tied to housing authorities. That's old money that's been, you know, that program goes back 50 years or more. Direct money from HUD is not something we see on a lot of projects. If you look down in potential additional sources, there's the Build America Bureau. Those are federal dollars, not coming from HUD. The Federal Home Loan Bank, $1.8 million is federal money. Again, not coming from HUD. So I'd say no, we're not accounting for anything directly from HUD here because the nature of the project, the ownership structure, it's not available to the project.
And my last question is, what about the new market tax credits?
Those are typically associated with projects with a large retail component, is my understanding. We do have a retail component, but it's only 1,700 square feet, and I don't believe it would be eligible for new market tax credits, nor would it make a significant difference in the budget if it were. And I think I'll yield the floor. It seemed like Gilberto wanted to say something.
No, I yield, Mayor. Thank you.
And I have one question after this and we're gonna close out. So someone else wanted to speak? You said Gilberto?
You're muted, Roberto.
Someone's muted? Jay,
Okay, do it.
are they muted?
Yeah, just wanted to say the tax credit that it was mentioned, you need to have at least 5,000 square feet of retail to be able to pursue it. We have, I think it's just 1,700.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, Councilman. My question, I just have one, is how many other projects are you working on in addition to the town of Capitol Heights? Anyone?
I guess you're referencing Mayor applying for tax credit. I guess. Pat,
No. How many projects are you trying to get funding for presently?
Well, currently for Argos, it's just Capitol Heights.
That's Capitol. What about Penrose?
I have another project in Prince George's County that looks like it wants to be a 9% project. I've been working on the Glen Arden redevelopment since 2016. That's nearly completed. We've built 300 and almost 350 units out of 424 that are planned for that master redevelopment. I'd say within that master redevelopment, I'm technically working on 4 projects if you include the home ownership, but it's all kind of at one site. And I have a couple other things that take up my time, but I'm less focused on.
Okay, I'm going to assume you're yielding, but my response to that quickly would be that, so there, you do have other projects or interests that you're working on besides the town of Capitol Heights. I think I mentioned this to you before in the phone conversation. Actually, it was Mr. Cotto. And I believe he said, no, it was Mr. Bateman. And I think you said, well, we couldn't survive if we only just had one project. So understandably so. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you, gentlemen, very much. We look forward to your next report. Councilwoman Ford will get some questions to TA Ren. And then, whatever the questions are, and then TA Ren will copy the council to make sure, that, so we'll all get the same response. But, okay, thank you so much.
Thank you
Okay,
so much. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
all right. So we'll move on and, Mayor Pro Tem Chu, Airbnb.
Okay, this is quick. I just did a rough draft of the, Airbnb ordinance. I'm going through all of our ordinances and we have a lot of ordinances that need to be updated and completed. So this is just a draft copy that I'm giving to everyone. And if you don't mind, can you please, add or take away whatever it is in the ordinance? And if you could have it back to me before our next meeting, so that I can, and which is, I think it's August, the- I think it's August the 5th. It's August the 5th. If you can please have it back to me by August the 5th, with all your updates and changes, I appreciate it because it still has to go through the code enforcement office for, fees for violation. So, I'm just asking everyone to take a look at it and just reply back to me, by August the 5th. That's it. Thank you. Councilwoman Anita.
Councilmember Amanda.
All right, let's, yield for questions,
Yes.
comments. Okay, Councilwoman Anita.
Do we have someone using their property as Airbnb in town? Yes, we do. Oh, sorry. That's okay. Okay, let me ask all of it.
Yeah.
Have we identified for sure that someone's operating an Airbnb in the past? We have evidence to prove that fact. And have they been advised or talked to with regards to the operating in the town? I am.
Okay.
Yes, they have been identified. The last I was told by property standards that they were sending them notification, but I'm not sure if it actually went out. But I wanted to make sure that our ordinance was updated and valid in case anything comes up. I yield. You want to, yes, that's what I mean. So we already had an ordinance, or is this going to be a new ordinance? No. I yield. We already had an ordinance in the town. So it's just practically updating. That's why I say it has to go through property standards, but I can make sure the language and everything is up to date with what they do. Because a lot of our ordinances are old. I yield. Thank you. That's me.
Yes, thank you. That was, my main question was, if this is an update to a prior ordinance, can we be given or shown where to find that ordinance, the original one? And, so that I just want to know what is being updated, like what is not current, what is being changed so that it can be made more current. So that is my main question, and so I yield for an answer to that. If I may.
Well, the ordinances are actually online. You can get them online. And, this one is updating because, I don't think they can, BR. Yeah. Yeah, BO, and it's another, hot home away and all those different things in it. So you can actually, I can show you where to get the ordinances from. It's a whole booklet of it. And then I'll give it to you, and then I can highlight what's being changed there.
Thank you. The reason I asked, because I had actually tried searching online for, about Airbnb ordinance, I don't know, a couple months ago, weeks ago, and I wasn't able to find anything, so that's why I'm just asking if I can see what the original ordinance looks like. And I yield.
You for the answer, or we good?
I do.
Okay. Councilwoman Ford didn't have anything. We got, okay, so we're just gonna get back. We'll put this on the agenda again with any modifications or changes. Okay, all right, okay. The title change for town administrator. After I looked at T.A. Ren's beautiful shirts, and she's got talent.
I don't wanna change. Oh, I'm sorry.
I went by our conversation. This is just food for thought. Initially, T.A. Ren said she was fine with it. Okay. But she's not stressed about it. And it's just something for us to consider. Most town administrators are now called town managers. That is kind of across the board. You don't see too many TA titles. And I discussed it with T.A. Ren at the time, and you said you were fine, you didn't care. But I see your shirt's got town administrator, so we can just make this conversation mute.
No, but I appreciate the mayor a lot. I'm frugal. I don't wanna.
Yeah, I was sitting there saying, oh, she's got TA, and
I'm frugal.
you've got your variety of shirts now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Thanks, senior.
Yeah, okay, all right, so we'll move on, okay, to more pressing topics, okay. Senior staff mid-year evaluation, Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor Council. Last meeting I passed out the revised edition of new evaluation, and that's going to be called the chief. So, which is good. Very Council we have been to tell administrators gets the evaluation. Absolutely.
Okay, yes, sir. Councilwoman, you.
Councilman Williams, I didn't have any, issues or concerns with the evaluation. This is basically.
Yes,
Well, yeah,
yeah, because it's your.
I'm sorry, it'd be remiss if I didn't answer. So. Double shoot. You really working that, I'm sorry. I did.
I'll go down, Councilman Ford, say.
I appreciate the chair, for presenting the evaluation, and it has been clear. I have no comments or any addition.
They'll go to you.
Zero, and Wesley.
Okay. Councilwoman Amanda.
I received it from the HR manager and I have to this. My only question is, what are our next steps?
Yeah, that's you.
I do.
Yeah, that's mine too. Our next steps, are we doing it electronically? Can we hand it in hard copy? And who is it going to? And are we doing both simultaneously? We're doing two senior staff, the chief and the TA, the mid-year review. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Council, it's really your pleasure how you want to handle it electronically. Again, if you want to do it on paper, either way is fine with me, but we'll go to me. And to answer your question, yeah, we can do, I think in our last meeting, we said we're going to do the TAs and the chiefs midterm evaluation. I think it's the one money.
Okay. And I've got my marching. I mean, I guess we all heard the same thing. So are there any more questions? And we just have to, the form we have is no changes then.
Right.
So we just have to get that form to you, whether we scan it electronically or hard copy. Oh, yes, sir.
Correct, Mayor.
No. I was just thinking out loud.
Yes, that's the Mayor Council.
And what's the date?
So that's the other question. Are we behind on their evaluation? When I say behind, I mean, is it due by July? Is it due by July or August?
July.
So can I get them? For a second, how about within 3 days? Is that possible? Mayor Council. That'll be what? Thursday. 26th of July. and finalizing. I do.
Yes, yes, sir.
Councilwoman, the ones that we received, they said draft on them, so.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's right. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Respond.
let me finish. They both have draft on, unless it doesn't matter, since there wasn't any changes. We can scratch that out, or you're gonna give us a clean copy.
I was getting,
I'm sorry.
I was getting ready to say, I can print out, clean copy, then, and councilman just go with, as council member, he has said, scratch out the draft part, and use the copy you already have. I'm fine with that. It's up to the mayor and council. I want to proceed.
Councilwoman Chu.
I need.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think we can just scratch out the term police because you're gonna do a collective collection and then you're gonna collaborate all of the information together and then have one copy for the chief and then one copy for the TA, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I yield.
Okay, so on the floor is, what's the date? So we're saying in 3 days, so because the only meeting we have now will be that first meeting in August, so I'm saying we definitely, so we need to get it in and conduct it, because after August, we'll be out of session.
Correct.
Okay, so everyone knew about this 2 weeks ago, so you already know what you're gonna do, your thoughts, I'm thinking logically, so what is the date, Councilman? 3 days or?
3 days, 26.
26.
26. Sure.
3 days. Are we,
I do.
yes, are we sending it, giving it here, or do we want to deliver it?
Electronic, let's make it easier. Yeah, electronic, you can fit it to electronically.
So then we need to get it electronic.
Oh, no.
We get.
Councilmember Mayor.
Well, this.
Bring it still.
Okay, let's keep this thing. Go ahead, I yield the floor to you.
The HR manager gave it to me in electronic format, so I can just send it out to you guys. Is all I wanted to add into that discussion.
Thank you, second.
Thank you, Councilman. Yeah, that's good, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Okay, everybody, so, you yield, sir?
I yield.
Okay, so it's due, is that Thursday? Councilman, that's Thursday. By close of business. We had a whole day Thursday, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And then you'll send something out to us when we can meet you here or whatever, to
Absolutely.
go through whatever we, because we're gonna have to have a special meeting, right? I mean, because we're not gonna meet again until 2 weeks from now.
That's your point, yeah, that's correct.
You'll let us,
I yield.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Councilwoman Anita,
yes, ma'am.
just for clarity, so are we gonna get the HR manager to send us that in electronic copy?
Councilman,
We're just forwarding it right now.
Councilwoman, thank you, I yield.
all right, any more on that subject?
Yeah, I do have,
Yes, ma'am.
and I know our chair, the personnel committee will send that information out in terms of, when we will meet, the day that we will meet, and then the expectation for the meeting for ours. Yeah, thanks.
Councilman. Councilman Wayne.
You yield?
I yield.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you, big member for, if the mayor and council want to do that now, we can do that now, Mayor, if you want. I do.
You yield for an answer?
I yield for that.
She's yielding for some dates then.
So will the, may I ask a question? Okay, so with the person, mail committee meet to collect and talk about how we're going to disseminate?
Your date, yes.
Okay, so if it's going to be submitted on the Friday, the 26th, that's Friday. Oh,
Thursday.
so it's the 25th or the 26th?
Thursday, what's that?
So it'll be submitted Thursday, 26th.
That's-
We're gonna get the form.
Oh, Thursday, the 25th.
Okay,
Oh, it's-
Oh, Thursday's the 25th instead of the 26th.
okay, and so
go ahead.
And so if we're doing it on the 25th, that Thursday, so will the committee meet on the 26th or the 29th, that Monday?
Since it's due by
26th?
Since you about 25th, yeah, that's me on the 26th.
Okay, and so then,
We're in pilot.
Mhm.
I give it.
okay, then the council would meet again
Right.
on the Monday, the 29th. With,
I yield.
but before the first, because we'll be going out, right,
Right.
on leave, and so then we have to do the evaluation.
Right, oh, yeah, what I'm saying is that
So the
as a
first,
group, we have to do it.
Right.
And then the personnel committee will present it.
Right.
right,
But do you want us to come as a group and talk about it? Is that what you're saying? Okay, what date would that be?
I think that's the 29th of here.
Who's sending this out to us in the email? You gonna do it?
yeah, yes, that's what makes it
Send it out.
fair, yeah,
Yeah.
you can delegate.
You wanna do it? Can you do it?
I'm down for it.
Okay.
You. Okay.
Delegate.
Okay.
Excuse me, doesn't matter.
Okay, so we'll have the dates, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Good?
I yield. Yes.
Okay. Town website review, that is basically because right before Councilwoman, I won't go into anything personal, but Councilwoman Amanda was not here for, for personal reasons. So therefore, it's kind of got on hold with the web designing and making it look more user friendly and making it look so much better. So where are we? If both of you could chime in and tell us where we are, TA Ren.
Let me go first because I think Councilwoman Menza has been like busy. So what it is, I had a long, lengthy conversation with Civic Plus, which is a company for website design. I've already informed her that Councilwoman Amanda, as well as Jaden, will basically chime in. I will do an HTML introduction between her, basically Nina, who basically is I guess you could say the manager of our account. She will basically correlate with Councilwoman Amanda and basically connect her with the design team. But however, she has sent me some information, which I'm about to forward to Councilwoman Amanda as well as Mr. Jaden. Just so that you know, we're not eligible to redesign until December of 2026. But I did discuss with her because apparently we've already done a redesign last year, March 2020, March of 2023. And that was the previous office manager that had went through the process. She has it on her record. However, I did discuss it with her, saying because we had a lot of changes and so forth and so on. She says, well, what she will do or she can do is that moving forward to next year, as in spring of 2025, but not this year. However, there's other programs, and because I think Miss Amanda, Councilwoman Amanda is very savvy with certain things. She can, however, connect her with their design team, see if there's something that we can actually do ourselves. But I will forward that email with you and set up a time where we can do a conference call or video Zoom call with yourself and Jaden, if that's okay with Councilwoman Amanda. But she's aware that you're gonna be chiming in and overseeing this particular project.
Can you yield?
Yeah, I yield. Sorry about that.
Councilwoman Amanda?
My initial thoughts are I just need to see what our agreement allows us to do and to see, on the back end, using what we have, there's just a lot of things that can be done to tidy it up, clean it up and move things around. So it may not even need to be a whole redesign, but my number one concern is making sure that, information that is missing gets put in there, and that's on us to figure out what is missing, to include it in, and then to make sure that it's organized so that our residents and ourselves could be able to access it in a correct manner. So my initial thoughts are to see what our current contract allows us to do and work with what we have, and then if we need to move beyond that, we can tackle that as it comes. I do. Thank you.
Ms. Councilwoman.
I did tell, Civic Plus Nina, who's our rep, Miss Nina, that, our Councilwoman Ford is very, I'm sorry. Look at you. Councilwoman, Amanda, Anderson is very savvy in that sphere. So it's not something like we're novice, so she will be able to guide. So it might be something that we can actually, like she said, maybe not a complete redesign, but just make it more user friendly. But with that being said, I will set up a time between her and Jaden, who's your communication specialist, to connect with them and to move forward. If that's okay. With, your permission. Yes.
Okay,
Councilman Chu.
Chu,
Yeah, I was actually gonna say the same thing that Councilwoman Amanda stated in terms of the contract to see how many times we can actually do modification or changes within every 4 years. So is there a way that we can negotiate to maybe not do major changes, but do what we call like a maintenance on the website and make small changes that won't do too much code, cause too much code changes? But, cause if, Councilwoman Amanda is savvy, that she can
Yeah.
go in and make changes that necessarily don't have to use code. They can be, different changes, whatever. So just to check with our, contract to see if we can do that.
Yeah.
And then we need to, maybe want to look into, in how we can change that contract, because every 4 years, we can only make changes every 4 years. Things change, everything changes, and we gotta wait 4 years.
Redesign.
But it's still, things change. So I yield.
Oh, you're right. So what I'm gonna do is basically go in, because they have different level of services. So we're gonna go back and talk to them. Maybe there's another service that we can actually, that's more suitable for us. So that's, I'm sure we can discuss it. She seems to be very amenable, agreeable, trying to work with us.
anyone else on that? What?
The only thing I would like to add is that even when we do the change or discuss the change date, that it would be around the time, maybe giving the new administration time to come in and they had some ideas, they want to make some changes, they could. Since their administration for 4 years. So just give them some time in between that. After the following year after the election. Like, I do.
Because I'm going to sleep back to I'm not going to.
No comment.
I stay up.
All right then. TA Ren, go time.
Yeah, sorry, I did have a printout, but our computer, unfortunately, our printer's not working yet. Unfortunately, so I'm just gonna explain it to you guys, we're just going to list. Audit is still ongoing, because that was one of the questions that Mayor Pro Tem actually noted. It's not like substantial information we still need to provide, we're just still missing receipts. Which basically we're trying to basically find. Some of the receipts dates back to early 2023, 2000, and the end of 2022. So it's hard to find those receipts. So we're finding a solution to how to provide that receipt to them. And some of them, I think the mayor's already privy to, and she understands the green camera and all that stuff. So we're gonna find a solution to it, but it's not anything major. It's just basically just receipts. We're missing receipts, which they require. And then number 2 is, and then we're diligently reviewing all of the line items from 40799, which is on the front cover with a section which says license fees and permits. We want to make sure that all the allocation, we're still doing that from last year as well as, especially because we have to make sure that the information that's been inputted is actually correct and reflects the right information for fiscal year 23 to 24, as well as going forward. And also just, so you know, we have restarted to resubmit all basic abatement letters that was stopped for whatever strange reason. That was stopped, and we have resent those letters to them so we can recover our abatement fines and fees. And this is in addition to issuing all code violation letters to them, so we can recover the, I guess, the revenue that potentially was lost for the period of 2023 to 2024. We have sent those letters out. We are tracking them to make sure that we're getting them paid. If not, we'll, like I said, we're going to go to court. In fact, some of the abatements, we're already going to court. The first court date is actually September the 4th. And in terms of public complex, 90% is completed for building permit, as Mayor already knows. We've already got our site permit. We're basically waiting for a building permit to come through, which we expect in August, which time we will be able to submit our RFPs to contractors. So we will be able to finally start, we're hoping to break ground in September of our public complex, which we started in 2015. We're gonna start breaking ground this year in September. That's where our fingers crossed. basically process this. But the understanding from my conversation with CPJ is that once we get our permit, we should be able to get our RFP out in August. Once the mayor and council selects the contractor, we'll be able to break grounds.
Not in 30 days.
Well, we're hoping, we're still
That's a
hoping.
big hope.
Yeah, we're still hoping, right?
And
We're still
even if we
pushing.
don't break ground, we'll be good as long as we have that
Contract,
contract in
yeah.
place, which is based on the RFP. By the
Absolutely.
end of December.
And then that would basically qualify or basically puts in line with the ARP money. So we'll be all like in line. In terms of the Chamber Avenue, as you know, we are finding, well, with the mayor's assistance, as she knows, with the Chamber Avenue, we're actually also moving forward with Mr. Eddie Tobias. We've submitted a letter to the folks that was requesting the letters for explanation of our schedule and how we're going to utilize the funds and how we're going to, well, how should I reschedule the funds and how we're gonna get additional funds, reevaluated, we did the amount that we think is necessary to complete the project. The mayor sent that letter to the appropriate, I guess, authorities. And then, right now, Mr. Eddie Tice and I are working on, basically the right-of-way access, the letters that needs to be sent out, to the three groups. One is the Spanish Church at the corner, one is Wilmata, and there's one more. I don't have it in front of me, but there's three groups, two which we already sent. We finally got the information for the Spanish Church, which was originally a mosque, I think, that was purchased by the Spanish group, which now currently stays vacant. We were able to, with the assistance of with the senior inspector for code enforcement of county, we were able to find the two addresses for them. Because they were just so hard to find. And it was just like, our previous, well, I guess you say PS group, actually, I'm sorry, not PS. Our NSC, well, not even, yeah, property standard, sorry about that. Property standards, my voice is going, had originally sent them several letters, which basically went unresponded. So now we're being more aggressive in trying to find them. Their Maryland land facility or Maryland Land Department. So we were able to find two agents for them, which we're at this point sending them letters of, which you will, the mayor needs to sign, which I will prepare for you to sign tomorrow, if that's possible. So once
Can I-
that's done, I'm sorry.
Back on that.
Sure.
Can I interject? Just to make it more explicit for the council, we are in jeopardy of losing almost $500,000, 500K. If Ms. Wren was not as proactive as she is, we would have to return to the government almost $500,000. We are over, in other words, the community block grant is what, you can correct me, 277. I sent a council that email. That was in jeopardy until we had to get that meeting together. And there was a holdup because of tool design and the payment that's been going on for many, many years, the whole concept. So Ms. Wren has worked that out with the help of our consultant, Eddie Tobias, and CPJ Consulting, and the meeting is forthcoming. And in order for us to keep that money, because we are past due and spending it from 2015, we have to give them the whole schedule of how we're going to spend the money. That's almost $250,000. Then State Highway, SHA, see, this was a community block grant. SHA came into the picture and said, you got the same problem. We're over 250K. Why have you not spent the money? We want the money back. So we're talking $500,000. So Miss Wren has been working that stuff nonstop because they want to meet with everyone about that money. And the reason I know is because the issue was so severe, they reached out to the mayor and said, what can we do? And Ms. Wren and I worked it out, and they gave us some leverage of saying, what is your plan? This is your last straw. This is our last go round, not to lose that money. And Ms. Wren, you got that, right? I know you do.
Yes.
Okay, I yield.
And then with the mayor's assistance, so she was very aggressive in making sure we don't lose that money. We were able to send out the letters, set up meetings, and have conversations with the relevant authorities. And we're good now. So we're moving forward the Chamber Avenue Green Street project as well. And then just so a little bit on tool design, we've cleared out, hashed out the previous invoices, cleared out completely.
Not to cut you. Tool design They are the ones who did who did the design concept for Chambers Avenue, like for the trees, the streets, all that stuff. But they were not equipped to do the design itself. So what they did was sub it out. And we got some horrendous charge, almost, 200 some thousand after the fact. For something we did not ask them to do. They were milking the town. Miss Joy got that, where now they're gonna write it off and we had to pay them a certain amount of money. I just want the council to understand who all these players are. So tool design has been a thorn in our side, but we don't have a choice because they're holding up the permits from 2015 to get the Green Street project going. But you got that too, didn't you, Miss Wren? Okay.
So we're moving forward, in summary, we're moving forward, with the Chamber Street project, moving forward very quickly. And with the assistance of CPJ, the mayor, and also, obviously, Mr. Ivy Tobias. With that being said, going on is the income from traffic camera has begun. I'm very proud of our PD department. It's not substantial, but it's moving forward. So, we recently, and we have an account set up, so, all the information is within the file folder I have. So mayor and council can come and take a look at it anytime you want. There's specific folder, specific account set up just for the speed camera. So we're in compliance with county, state, laws and regulation, but it has begun and we're very excited. And then give it another 1 or 2 months for fluctuation, because they're still working on the details. And you still have one more camera at Walker Mill that's not up and running just yet. But once that's done, we're excited, aren't we, Chief? He's very excited. So it's already coming in. I'm really excited. I'm really happy. I'm sorry, I'm just looking. And of course, the 13 street lights have been completed. However, the mayor is very eagle-eyed, and she found some defects, which basically that they should have completed, which they didn't, which she's going to reach out back to Pepco. Oh, no, okay, I'm wrong. Go ahead, Mayor.
No, you're 100% right.
Okay,
I'm wrong. The lights are, there's, I think, Mayor Pro Tem Chu said it's 14, but it might be 13 or 14. But just so you know where they are, they're on one side of the
Yes.
street. Remember, this was just something that they did because the town was a little bit aggressive and they did that to placate us. So that was to show us what they could do, so to speak. But they are the Cobra heads. I was wrong because Mr. Gibson went and took a close up. And if the Cobra heads look so much different than the other ones, which are cylinder, but the Cobra heads give more illuminations and it's a white light versus the yellow light. However, Cobra heads come in a bigger size. That's what threw me off, and I'm going back to the table. So you're correct, Miss Wren. We got what we, but they didn't give us the bigger ones.
yeah.
We need the bigger ones for the street. But just so you know, you can see the illumination that is so much different than the yellow lights.
Yeah.
So,
And then the 13 lights was completed actually ahead of schedule. It was completed on the 8th of July versus July 31st. That's something that, we appreciate Pepco basically coming through for us. At the same time, like I said, the mayor has eagle eyes, so she basically saw the differentiation. But with that being said,
oh, excuse me,
sorry,
Councilman Ford is saying, are they up? Let me tell you the location again.
they're up.
You go right, I think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking right close to Bell's Liquor Store, because Linden Hills, that's not the town. Somewhere right after Bell's Liquor and right before the post office, on this side, on the street that where the building is 13 lights, they're all in a row, all in a row. And you'll see the difference because the other lights are yellow and these are white, bright white.
Councilman.
Yes, ma'am.
It starts at tuning.
Okay, tune it out of the street.
Yeah, tune it all the way down to Bill's.
Okay, it starts at tuning.
And then with the mayor's directive, I've already contacted two lighting consultants. Basically, we're gonna meet with the mayor to discuss basically the additional. And as per her request, just so you know, I asked them about the purple hue that Mr. Councilman James always talk about. That makes the town look kind of spooky. LED lights are effective, they're cost effective. He said the reason it looks like that is actually anytime an LED light is purplish, it's a bad batch. It's got nothing to do with it. So if you guys want to go LED light, it will be bright. It will not have that purple hue. If there is a purple hue, then that's a bad batch of lights that needs to be replaced. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. No, the reason I'm
Because you want
saying,
LED light.
no, the reason I'm saying is because when you explain this stuff, which is awesome, but you're explaining it, and I know what it is, but some of this stuff, the council, and this has nothing to do with an intelligence, it's the fact that some of the stuff is easier if it's more
Okay,
broken down. So just the way I had to pick it up and I had to
Yeah.
tell you. So what I'm gonna say about the lights, the lighting consultant is not something we wanna put money in. Petco will not give us the contract unless we have a lighting consultant. That's part of the package. The reason for that is the lighting consultant tells them how many lumens or illuminations go on each pole because they will all be different. I didn't realize that. In other words, if a light is right and is facing your house, you don't want the brightest light because it's coming into your window. But somebody on a street that's basically dark, let's say it has a lot of crime or whatever, you want high illumination there. A lighting consultant will tell them what to do, not the layman that we will have from the town. The lighting consultant tells Pepco what type of illumination or lumens to put on that particular pole. Even though it's a Cobra LED, they have to have that design from the lighting consultant or they will not give us the contract for the work because they are not responsible for that. If they do it, the town is responsible for it. If they do it through a lighting consultant, they will take responsibility for it because they coordinated with your lighting consultant.
okay, just, you're absolutely right, because like I said, you and I have been working on this, so we're kind of familiar with the inside and outs. What I would do is send an email to mayor and council explaining exactly what mayor just said, so then you have like more time to review what has been done and what we're going to do, what is the process. So you'll get that email from me tomorrow, just regarding to town lights and the lighting consultant and what we're trying to establish or accomplish. So I'll make sure I take care of that.
Thank you, Ms. Brand.
Is that okay, guys?
I don't want to conversate, but it's hard to, if you don't have information to pull from, we're just talking on the top. But if the council doesn't have the full information to
Agreed.
pull from, that can be a problem.
Yes.
And obviously, we can't send out 35 emails a week. We have to get moving on some of this stuff. But I just wanted to do some clarification.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to know, was the cost associated with of the consultant?
Yes, ma'am. She's gonna, anybody can come to the meetings. She's reached out to get us to, because Pepco has said point blank, they will not entertain another meeting with us until we have the lighting consultant. We don't have a choice. This is for the 264 lights in the town. So she's getting pricing and everything else and
Consulting.
yes, ma'am. And I asked her anybody, we can just do a meeting, Zoom day, all of us, doesn't have a problem, you know what I mean? But we have to get somebody on board. Because we gotta get that contract in place as soon as possible. Yes, ma'am.
I'm getting 3 bids and 3 quotes. Once that quote comes in, I'll share with mayor and council and you all decide. And I've already spoken to each one of them. They basically said they'll be more than happy to come into a town meeting either via Zoom or in person to answer any video questions that you may have.
Oh, wonderful. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ray.
Okay, and then in addition, in terms of our, property standards, we are basically working with other municipalities and basically making sure that we're connected with them, number one, and number two, that we're actually, getting more information on how other people do it. So I've set up, basically shadowing, the other municipality for code enforcement and compliance with Bowie, Bladensburg, Fairmont Heights, District Heights, and soon College Park. So our property standard folks or inspectors will be shadowing their property inspectors to basically go around their towns to understand how we can better or learn from their best practices. So we can take their knowledge and bring it home and see how we can incorporate into our way of doing things to improve our process, to improve our understanding. And I want to better understand how they deal with abatement, how they deal with code enforcement, and then, and what their structure is. So that's gone into effect, and I appreciate all of the TAs and the city managers, as well as the code enforcement, like supervisors that are allowing us to do this. I really appreciate them. Fairmont Heights, very, very helpful. District Heights, as well as Bladensburg, as well as College Park, and as well as Bowie, especially Bowie. So that's starting to be, the implementation of the education will start this week. It will happen every single week. There'll be a different municipality once a week, shadowing their senior inspectors. That was an educational program. I thought that'd be helpful to our group. And another is, we submitted the second notice for ARPR duplication payment. So in my understanding from speaking with a town attorney, because it's federal money, if they don't respond to our second notice of repayment of duplication of payment that we had paid them with the from the ARP fund, we're allowed to put a tax lien on their properties until they make the refund back to us, because it's federal money. And it's about $5,680. 10 people.
Okay, thank you.
And then number 9, we're also creating an option because a lot of, what I'm understanding, a lot of our residents, especially the senior residents, are not able to keep up or clean up their property, not because they don't want to, because they're physically able to do so. So we're creating an option for the residents, to basically to use PW services at cost. We're not making profit from any of this, but at cost as needed to work with them to clean up their homes in their community. We're starting with the vacant homes effective immediately. And then our 2 of our inspectors have already reached out to some of these seniors to see if they would like to take up that service, so we can start moving things around. And then our stop sign camera initiative is initiated by Mayor Pro Tem Chu and also our deputy chief, as well as our chief. We've gotten the contract from him, where I'm going through the language to make sure clear understanding of. It's also submitted to Mr. Godley Farrar to review it. And at the same time, he will also be coming in to present to mayor and council. Probably most likely, I was gonna put on with the permission of the mayor on August the 5th, our work session. So you guys can ask any questions you might have regarding to the stop camera. Stop sign camera initiative,
Presentation, okay, so.
if that's okay, with your permission.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a stop camera, so like speed camera, it's stop sign camera. So, and then that's pretty much it.
That was good.
So that's gonna be
Would you
the-
entertain questions, Ms. Rand?
Of course.
Okay, Mayor Council.
Councilman Chu. I just have one quick question. I know that you mentioned, how code enforcement is actually, shadowing other municipalities. Are our codes different than is each municipality codes different? Meaning that they may have a code that states something for trash or whatever, but we may have another code that states something different for the trash. Are they getting that deep into it? Or are they pretty much being on the outside?
They are.
Like, oh,
They are. And just so you know, it's not just one time. So for example, Bladensburg inspector, so we'll do several rounds with them. In fact, their chief, Collington, graciously allowed, he says, if it's necessary, you can actually even come back to our town to basically like come around here, and then the questions that our inspector might have on the spot, he will be able to assist to answer. So we're getting really deep into it. So it's not as superficial, it's really deep into understanding what other people do, what we do, and how we can better ourselves.
So,
So does,
you got the floor back.
okay. So does that mean that we may, or possibility that some of our codes may be revised, updated, or changed?
Yes,
Because I know at one point, I think our codes were below standard. And so we have to increase the cost of the violation and things like that.
Yes.
Is that being taken into consideration?
absolutely. Actually, we already met up with the senior inspector Valentine for Capitol Heights,
Okay.
for residential, because we bring up the point of certain locations and houses and so forth.
Mhm.
And we already realized from him that our code is very out of date, because counties are already increased and reevaluated their code
Mhm.
and then defined. In fact, it's going to increase again,
Mhm.
and we are like way behind.
Okay.
So we're gonna adjust in accordance to our town and take into consideration what the county is doing.
Thank you.
So it's very much a learning process.
And one last question. Are you and Property Standards, partner with Crystal Ryder's, team? Because the walk on Monday, that's what it was about. It was about identifying a lot of these homes and residents that we have in our area that are out within code violations and making sure that we address the issues.
Some of the issues that's already been brought to me, because I've got several residents, well, actually, and also the Councilmember Ford has forwarded me certain that's outside our town. I've already sent it over to, her team that's tasked with it, and they're actually looking into it. In addition to working with us, as well as the inspectors, as well as 311.
Okay,
So everybody's involved, so we can move things forward.
great. Thank you. I yield.
TA Ren, like I said, really great report. For the residents on, and for clarification purposes, TA Ren, when she's talking about this collapse, she's talking about with, three, it'll be 20743, it'll be Seat Pleasant and Forest Heights, am I correct? Fairmont Heights, Fairmont, I always say that, I'm going to put this, Fairmont Heights. There's a collaboration of doing things together, so one of the main initiators of this effort, in addition to Ms. Wren, is Councilwoman Anita. So you think you could do like a 2-minute thing on how this collab works, please, for the residents, because they don't know.
Originally, it was called the tri-municipality, bringing together the town of Sea Pleasant, the city of Sea Pleasant, excuse me, the town of Fairmont Heights, the town of Capitol Heights. It has since been renamed to the 20743 Coalition, where the three towns will come together. We're collaborating, best processes to benefit all three towns, also applying for different grants that will benefit all three towns, how to move our towns or municipalities forward, and just working together and collaborating to grow all three municipalities, where people will want to come into these municipalities and live and raise their families. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell right now, but we anticipate on growing into bigger and better things as we continue to meet and come together. We come up with some great ideas on things to do. And it's gonna be very beneficial for all three municipalities. Also upcoming, we are also collaborating with the three municipalities on Hispanic Heritage in September, where the three municipalities we try to get all of the Hispanic community to come out, Hispanic residents. And also in August, all three municipalities will come together for a back to school bash. We'll be giving out book bags and have vendors out there and doing a multitude of things to assist parents with getting their children prepared to go back to school. Thank you.
Any other, Ms. Wren, you have the floor.
No, I'm just saying that she's doing a lot. Let me say that she's doing a lot. So, and then I think with that, the Hispanic initiative, I think Councilwoman Amanda is also supporting and giving us additional information, not being part of you're not doing it. Say what? You mean not, okay, but okay, you were.
I'm happy to pass over any vendor information, but I'm not like
Okay,
planning to.
okay, that's fine, okay,
Okay, you got more?
yes,
You
no,
got more?
no.
Okay, all right,
Did
thank
you
you.
have any other question?
Oh, any more questions, anybody for Ms. Wren?
Councilor Amanda.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Wren, is it possible you said you had something you were gonna print out, could you email that to us?
Yeah.
So that I can reference back to it?
Sure.
And, the back to school, sorry, the back to school event, where is that being located?
Actually, Jaden's more spearheading that, and also Councilwoman Anita had a great idea where that location could particularly be.
And what date is that again?
It was the 16th, which day did it was the day before, it was on a Saturday, give me one.
Hispanic Heritage?
Yes,
Oh,
back to school.
15th.
No, the Hispanic is the 15th, but back to school is on a Saturday. Hold on one second, I'll tell you the date. That's still a date, it's right before,
August 15th or 16th.
it's the 17th,
August 17th?
yes. That was a date that originally, that was what was said, but we can firm that up again. And Fairmont Heights is gonna participate, correct? Yes, they're excited too.
Okay.
And what was the address? You said it was a great location.
Swan,
Sorry, go back and forth.
Oh, sorry.
Send us out an email, you and Councilman, send it out to us.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was, I just wanted to make sure that we often get complaints that we don't let our residents know in enough time when things are, so we can just make sure we get that information out to them so they can take full advantage of it. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else on you, Neil?
Yes, I will.
That's it. Councilman Ford?
I just wanted to, just to clarify the distinction between the shadowing program and the, tri-municipality, with the 20743 coalition. Those are two separate. Things. Thank you.
Councilman Williams, anything?
No, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, everybody's good? Okay.
Councilman,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I just got one question. When we do the book bag giveaway, can we please, look at, I guess, a location where some of our residents who do not have transportation, can also be able to get book bags, or if we set the book bags aside, or we do something where we can have a list of people who don't have transportation, but they're still able as residents to get a book bag. Because last year I got a lot of complaints because they didn't have the transportation to get to the location and they had the book bag everywhere. And I yield.
Right now, currently, we're looking, so it'd be equal amount of distance for all this, there's a truck right here from AC Pleasant on Addison one. When something Green Park, but it's right next to their police department. Okay. Wadding Park or something it's called. It has it has a playground and everything else, so it's big enough to accommodate all three municipalities. So people can easily get on a bus or catch an Uber.
The town.
Around, or perhaps, if we get the town to use our bus.
Okay. You? Okay. Okay. Anything else, anybody? My word is respectfully. Chief, I'm gonna do the town clerk, but I just thought since we're doing the reports, did you want to say anything? You always have good stuff.
Well, first of all, glad to be back, believe it or not. Wonderful vacation.
That's
Much needed. Little sun on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
You come back with a different perspective on life, you know what? Man, you think it is sometimes. It's a lot worse. I'm glad to be back and, working with, the town administrator and the team on some of the things that we have a meeting on Thursday. We have a town meeting, but we have also a public safety meeting. And as we're going through some of the items, taking notes like things we need to discuss at the meeting. In particular, back to school and some of the other things that are important. National Night Out. Right?
What's the date, sir?
August the 6th. It will be held across the street versus the park. We'll have like a bridge kind of event, but we wanted to have more flatter ground so we can do activities with the kids. So we're really excited about that. We've got some activities now really blow it away for 2024, 25 fiscal. And then we have a host of things that we're going to be talking about at the committee meeting as far as staffing and recruiting and back to school. It was good to get some of this back to school information because that was something I was going to talk about at the meeting as well. In addition, things that are coming up at the end of the summer, we have these certification issues we have to go through, particularly within the month of August and September for restarting of our officers, particularly with firearms and service. To let the council and the mayor know, all of our officers have been recertified before September. So that's September's the cutoff month where the commission starts to give you a hard way to go. We've gotten that taken care of because we have our own fires instructor and we work with the Prince George's County Community College on in service. So we're ahead of the curve. And as you were aware, maybe forgotten, we went through an audit about 4 months ago with the commission. They came in and looked at all of our books One last thing I want you to keep in mind, we have a staffing allotment of 14. We're at 12 and we're going to be in the process now of recruiting for the last 2 positions. I want to emphasize that the department will be fully staffed with our last 2 hires, whenever that happens within the next year. So that's a major milestone for the department because it's not been that way since I've been here. And it's been hard to find. I'm also making some of my peers a little jealous because they're really struggling. Some of the other departments have actually not been able to hire at all. They're really suffering. So I'm really proud of our team in that space because that's a really big challenge. And lastly, the council and mayor may be aware of the pending court case for the previous 2 that left the scene in August, August 7th. I will be in court. I will be dressed to impress the judge and tell the facts. And the facts are pretty straightforward. We did our part as a town, and we just expect a return in kind for their, service or lack thereof. So thank you, Mayor, for giving us opportunity. I really have a official report.
No, thank you, because we didn't know about the court.
Yeah.
We didn't know, I haven't heard anything.
I didn't,
But
I've
thank you.
been working with the council behind the scenes on that for about 6 months now.
Thank you. Okay,
Chief,
yes, 2 months, yeah.
Chief, just 2 questions. Where we were about 2 officers that are in the academy. And then, once we hit our 4 staffing, does that mean 24/7?
Well, I don't know when they will be graduating in December. They're in farm.
Oh, December.
And a reminder, 2 young ladies, lovely young ladies, one is Hispanic and that was my pool buddy at the ice day. With respect to 24/7, we need 18 to 20 for that. Because remember, it's 7 days a week. It's 3 shifts instead of 2 shifts. So you need to have 2 officers per shift, right? And that really bumps it up. But I think that's a goal. Once we do some of the expansion we're doing, some of the things that I'm working on with the PA, I think we can get there probably in the next couple of years, particularly with the new station. Because the station is going to be a game changer for not only the town, but for the department with respect to recruiting and retention. And, these young officers are looking for a place they can find home. They looked at some of the bigger departments, state, county, sheriffs. And you'd be surprised, the county lost over 200 officers to the sheriff's department. Most of our officers have expressed to me that they want long-term here. And we're working with HR and the TA to look at, benefits and retirement. I think retirement is going to be something we really need to kind of explore. But we have a good team and they're young and they got a lot of vigor and desire to grow with the town and with the department, particularly with some of the new bells and whistles we got. And I will also say lastly, I didn't want to be long-winded, but I want to thank the mayor and council for elevating their salaries and making it hard for them to leave, particularly to go somewhere else for a couple $1,000. These elevations are really competitive, along with some of the other perks that just being welcomed here and appreciated here means a lot to them. So you work with them, you see them out in the community. Sometimes they screw up, but at the end of the day, they really appreciate being here, and I appreciate the support of America.
Thank you, Chief. And I misspoke. Councilwoman Ford showed me in an email came from TA Ren that I somehow didn't catch that. Of course, she did put it in her report to us.
Yes, please.
So I did misspeak.
I just want to make sure we recapture that money that we're entitled to, because we did a great thing. We do great things by putting these young folks through the academy. There's very few departments at this size that are doing that. And we are up where we need to be because we're making that commitment, but we're also holding their feet to the fire. Yeah, this court case is resonating throughout the entire Chiefs Association.
And we're gonna need that money. I saw the ammunition charge on that check. So we're gonna need that money. We're gonna need that money.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's all I got to say.
Need more?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
most of that went for the 2 recruits in the academy.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you,
Any
Mayor.
other questions, anybody?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned about the safety committee and discussing staffing. And the safety committee.
Well, the public safety committee, I'm just in a brief Public Safety Committee, which is Thursday night, and it's myself, Councilman Chu, Councilman Williams. I think we're one of the person on this thing. I think it's Councilman James.
I don't think so. It's just these two
That's right. Well,
members.
just to update where, where we are as far as staffing and our recruitment goals and, just some of the things we're doing with respect to, getting to our 14%. We do have one person out right now in medical, for example, so that's affecting our schedule.
I guess I'm saying just crossing over in those committees. That's why I said it is important that we get information about the safety committee. So we'll know the boundaries within that committee. We do have a personnel committee. I hear that he's going, the chair will be at meeting, but then that will be a separate meeting with the personnel committee because I am on the personnel committee.
Yeah, well, when you think about staffing in the sense of where you're coming. I'm sorry.
No, you mentioned.
No, I'm just coming in. Make it short, because she still has the floor. Make it short, sir.
I'll make it real quick. This is really about just keeping the council there updated, particularly for the Public Safety Committee, on where we are as far as recruitment, as far as where, if we have any concerns in the public safety space, hiring and also trying to get a full-time investigator to handle our property crimes and our low hanging fruit when it comes to felons.
Thanks. So it'll be good for the mayor and council to receive information about the boundaries of the safety committee. So we can understand what the safety committee is actually doing. And it's a great thing to have the safety committee active, so keep the mayor and council abreast of what's happening. But it's good to know the details. I yield. Thank you.
Okay. You got a closing remark, sir?
No, ma'am, I wasn't expecting to talk at all.
Thank you, sir. Okay. The question was asked, well, it's on the agenda, town clerk update. I guess I will speak on that. Because there was a proposal put to the council, I'm not going into all that because it involves personnel, but there was a proposal put to the put to the council. And regarding the town clerk and the assistant TA, which we don't have, but so I sort of sat on that because of that proposal, and there was no finalization done on that. There was no conclusion done. So I will take I don't like the word hit. That is something I did not do because I thought that was still in abeyance or somewhere. I don't know. I thought it was, I don't know, being considered or not being considered. I didn't do any follow-up on it. So I left the window open. But I can tell you, I must have, from the executive search that was done, put in place by both a former HR person and myself and the former TA, we all figured out how to do this executive search. So all the emails, all the resumes still come to me. I have about 20 resumes for the town clerk that I've been holding on to. I will get them to the personnel committee. Whenever we meet, I'll get them to the personnel committee. And when, what is that, Friday?
Yeah, this.
Is that, am I,
No.
whatever that day is, give me some leverage here. I gotta print them out.
29.
29. I will get them to the personnel committee. I will not hold on to them. That way y'all can do what you want to do. In the
Council is meeting on
20.
No,
It's this Friday.
I'm talking about which day do you, no, let's do this. What day, give me leverage.
And me and council meet on the 29th.
I need to go out of town, so give me leverage on when I can drop off to her in a sealed envelope for the personnel committee. I can just drop them off. Give me a date.
Wonderful.
Okay, what date is that?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
What about this? I will get them to Miss Wren in LT Friday. Councilman Amanda brought the question up. I will get them to, I'm not going, because I don't know, I mean, I know you're working, both of you guys work from home or whatever, but I will drop them off in a sealed envelope for the personnel committee. One of y'all can just pick them up, or I can, and when I do it, I will email the three of you and let you know I've dropped them off. Is that okay? All the things okay.
I did.
That was, okay. Is that okay, Councilman Amanda? Is that okay? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Oh, y'all are so hard. Mayor and council reports. Who wants to go? Yes, ma'am. Oh,
I have no report.
no, He said, "Well, I'm done. You're done, right? Okay, we'll go this way. Councilwoman Anita. I'm sorry, point of order. Okay. That was fun. Okay,
Nothing to report this evening.
yes, ma'am. Yeah, okay. Councilwoman Amanda.
The only thing new I would report out is, the town of Fairmont Heights and town of Capitol Heights, we've come to an agreement to move forward with the grocery giveaway in a joint effort. Indefinitely or until we decide to change our mind, but, so the first and second Sundays, the town of Fairmont Heights will have the grocery giveaway, and then the third, fourth, and whenever there's a fifth Sunday, the town of Capitol Heights will do the grocery giveaway, so that, both municipalities can benefit from the efforts of the, food giveaway and increased volunteers and all that kind of stuff, so, but we can reach more people and work together. So starting, in August, the first 2 weeks will be at Fairmont Heights, and then third, fourth, and fifth Sundays will be at Capitol Heights. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I know this is a surprise, but I do have something. Okay, mine is quick. This was a grant that I went after with Maryland Energy, and Councilwoman Ford was willing to help me with this, but anyway, I had sent it out, and the request was how much you could go was $250, but the bottom line was $250,000 was what the pot was. And so we have been awarded, and so I misspoke earlier because I thought we had gotten like 200 and some thousand, because Councilwoman Ford said, put 250, put it all in. And we had to match it by 15%, which we said was 30 something or 40 something thousand. And bottom line is, the town was awarded, I can't remember exactly because it's in an email, it's either 53 or 59,000. We did win that. So that is still helpful with the lights.
Yes.
Because we're trying to do 3 things with the 2.9 COVID money, relief funds, which is we're gonna finally try to get the complex up. We're gonna finally try to get renovation on this, done on this town hall, which would be an expansion. And, Green Street.
Yeah.
Green Street. The cost for Green Street is more money than we have because the projection is how much?
Well, they projected they projected
Some crazy amount.
2.8, but we knocked it down to 1.8.
Okay, and that, that's something you can appreciate because it's sustainability. Maryland, we get points for that too.
Yeah, that is true.
So, no, something crazy.
Yes, it was 2.8.
We're trying to get that down.
Oh.
Remember Tool Design, the ones that are trying to rip us off? They're coming with that amount. We're trying to say no, because we don't have that kind of money. We have money funding, but nowhere near that kind of money. We only have like 500 or 600K, not $1 million. So the ARP money is going in the pot too.
Okay.
So, that's it. I just wanted to say we did get that for the lights, which means that's less money we're gonna take out the pot for lighting, because now we have that money. And the lighting is gonna cost us almost $400,000. That's for the town lighting is 300 some high for 264 lights. And London Woods, which is 119 or something lights, that will be over 100,000. So
No,
I'm just saying, because they don't have, the poles, Pepco is owned by the HOA. And the poles are different. We went out and physically looked at the poles. And they don't even have numbers on, they're much thinner. They're different type poles that are not serviced by Pepco. They're serviced by PXC.
Yes.
So it's no problem, because PSD is giving the TA and I a quote. If you want to call, they're giving us a quote because their bulbs are different for LED than Pepco's, but they're still LEDs. So, but I'm just saying the money, we got the money, but that will still help us take 50 some, almost 60K out the pot, which we can do for other stuff.
Yeah.
We'll tell the council that.
Because we can use it for lighting consultant, we can use it for.
Oh, yeah,
other
that's
things.
true.
So
You're right. You're right.
Very helpful. Any money's helpful.
I'm just really, really so, proud, sounds like I'm talking to Chris or somebody, my son. I'm just so proud of what this council as a group is doing. And for the few residents on the line, we are bringing things to this town. You're not gonna see it in one day, whether it's the lighting, whether it's the new construction, whether it's the MOU we did with Redevelopment Association, whether it's things we're doing with the safety committee, whether we're doing personnel a different way, whether we're doing the speed cameras, the coalition, I know I said it wrong. The different things we're doing, you're not gonna see it overnight, but you must remember, I've been in this town 30 years. These things are going to happen. And you do not get development in one day, in 1 month. It's going to happen because we've got stuff, as I call it, it's documented. It's going to happen. And with the help of T.A. Wren, our chief, and this magnificent council, we are going to make some changes. That's all. Can I get, we got public comments next.
Okay. Councilwoman Chu,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say one other thing. Did we ever get, information back from Crystal Ida, in reference to that, $100,000 grant? I know she's going to get.
She's basically discussed, basically she, they changed the date, so change it to Wednesday. She wants to just basically talk about it.
Okay, okay.
I'm just reconfirming the dates with Trevon, her PA. Yes,
Okay, awesome. And we are still getting the 400K because she's gonna check it tomorrow, because I showed her how to find it in the database.
We're
Where
talking about
it was mislabeled, it just says community room, there's Jazz Lewis, Delegate Lewis, and
Yeah.
I don't wanna conversate on it, but
of course.
Delegate
200K
Lewis
we already
and Senator
have. You're talking about the
Benson.
different-
No, we got 2. We got 4 in total.
Okay,
The other 2 was lost in the sauce, as they say, for lack of a better way of saying it in Ebonics. It was lost. I spoke to her office and told them how to find the money,
okay,
because they were saying they didn't see it under Town of Capitol Heights. There's no heading on it. It just says community room, a sponsorship of 200K by Delegate Lewis and Senator Benson. That's our 200K.
okay.
Okay, so we got 400K from that group, the
So-
bond bill.
I understand. So I'll be able to get the bond numbers, right?
Yeah, she's gonna do it tomorrow. She would be, Angela's gonna check that tomorrow.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Grant.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing the follow-up and letting me know, because if you didn't let me know, that money would have been lost.
I understand.
Thank you. Okay, public comment. Oh, any more comments from the council? Okay. Yes,
I just want to make one point. Councilman Ford, the family alarm is coming up as well. It's October, so I just wanted to make sure. Sorry, she does the, with the Red Cross as well as the fire department. I want the residents to be aware of it. Sorry. Is it, so the sound alarm, that's still going on in October with the Red Cross as well as the fire department.
Yeah,
County Fire Department.
And so I decided to meet after National Day Out. It was pretty busy.
Councilwoman Ford, what do you have?
No, let's report it this time.
Yes, ma'am.
This is to the chief. I saw some of your signs on National Night Out. Are we gonna get bigger signs or bolder looking signs that you all see it?
There is, it's no pain.
Yes.
I'm thinking you're processing.
You gotta make them bolder.
Amanda was not available for you, but so, but, we have time to, put out some bigger banners.
Oh, you know, like how we did at the high school, they passed to the town with brighter looking signs and all those.
They did.
And people saw them because I thought that
I'm
was.
sure to talk
sales
to my
sign.
team about it. Well, we were kind of conservative in how many we bought, but it's good to get this kind of feedback. Thank you very much.
Okay, Jenny, Ms. Wren, anything?
Yeah, we're.
Okay, we're in public comments. Any public comments? Jay, any public comments?
We haven't, but they left, so at the moment, no.
Hello?
Councilmember Mayor,
That's, I mean, okay, yes, ma'am.
I think we missed the status of public meeting minutes on our agenda.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Miss, I put that on there because it's been a while.
Yeah.
And normally, it doesn't take months and months if we're paying, we're still doing with the temp
Yeah,
and we
So,
don't have the minutes.
but what she said, We have a lot actually done. We just couldn't print out all of them. What we've done is basically Miss Quinn, is the lady who does it for us, transcribe it. Once she transcribe it, our intern basically goes through it and corrects all the information directly onto it. We actually have more than this. Unfortunately, our printer didn't work.
Oh, okay, then I offer you my apologies.
And these are displayed for you guys to go through to
Let
review.
me,
There'll be more to come.
let me.
I printed out versus,
Okay. Ms. Ren, and I know I mentioned it to you, thank you, I didn't realize it was sitting here, so I offer an apology on that. But what we do is the first thing on the agenda, we have to approve them. So if we got them ahead of time,
this is for the rule.
no, let me try it again. We would get them ahead of time because your minutes are the first thing on the agenda, you approve your minutes.
Okay.
I know you didn't know,
Okay.
so I mean, it's not a criticism, I'm just saying, so we would get these electronically or hard copy.
Mm.
So, right the way you gave them to us now, for our next meeting, which we can't do until a public meeting, not the work session, unless we go to public. You would put this as the first thing on the agenda to approve your minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, okay.
Thank you.
Councilwoman,
Now I understand.
Councilwoman Ford.
When we do them, when we listen on the agenda, the meetings, is it possible for us to, even though she gave us the minutes here, list on the minutes, meeting confirmation or, receipt or something like that, so that we'll know when we got it. I know then we'll have it again and say minutes approved or something like that, just so that we can document on our agenda. Sure, sounds good. Are you?
She's, Councilwoman Ford will tell you what she wants, how you want it on the agenda, right? For the minute.
That's fine, yeah.
So we're trying to explain it on the council, on the guys, so. It makes sense, okay? We got you on several things, put it in your notes. Okay, Councilwoman Anita?
Well, we see edits, something needs to be changed, because on one of them, on the January 8th work session, approval of agenda, you got Councilwoman Ford made the motion, and then Councilwoman Ford second.
Okay. As you're saying, if you can mark it directly on here, we'll correct it. We'll go back and check and then correct it.
That's all I saw when I went.
All right, so
Councilmember Amanda.
yes, you, Councilwoman Amanda.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, so, I'm just looking at the January 8th.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just reviewing it and there's
Eris.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 14 mistakes just on the final. And they're simple things of like the incorrect names, things just spelled incorrectly mostly for the names, and those are easy ones. So I just want to make sure that there's good quality control so that they don't keep getting prolonged. I'm not sure who's like truly doing the quality control on these, so that when they are presented to the council, we don't have to keep going back and
Of
putting
course.
more changes into it. So I'm not trying to sound harsh. I just want to be efficient, and the minutes for our meetings is something that really we have not, just to be transparent, have gotten a good take on since we started this administration. We're always working months and months behind. So I actually would like to put, I would like to move that starting next week or our next meeting, that minutes are presented from this meeting and that we would be on track moving forward. That's the motion I'm placing on the floor. Second. So again. Say it again.
Yeah, can you break it down?
I
What
move
are you
that,
guys basically saying, and then move it, please.
yeah, make my motion pretty as clear as I can. I move that starting next meeting, which would be August 5th, that we have on the agenda the approval of minutes of this meeting, so that moving forward, we are approving the meeting prior's minutes. I understand, that's under my motion.
Okay.
You need clarification?
No, what I was gonna tell you, August the 5th is a work session. You wanna go out of that and go into public to review the minutes then, right? Approve those. Is that what you're saying? Because that's, it's a work session.
public?
In the public and work session on the fifth, remember, we voted to do both on the fifth. Since we only come
No,
in one month.
We're just going to have a meeting, not vote. What do y'all wanna do?
Yeah, we voted for it. yeah.
Y'all said vote?
Yeah.
My mistake.
That was, yeah.
All right, my mistake. Okay, all right, that's good. So we're having public on the fifth. Got you. And the second was Mayor Pro Tem Chu? Okay, is anybody opposed? Okay, motion passes. I love this. Motion carried. Okay. It wasn't on the agenda, but I will, as the chair, I will accept the motion because the subject wasn't on the, well, I know, we were discussing the
Public meeting
I
minutes.
know, I'm just saying, but you know, okay. She said, no, I don't know. Yeah. I love the response, okay. Okay, so, all right, you got that, Ms. Ryan?
Yeah, it's starting August fifth, we have, meeting minutes,
Who's writing the
the
rest?
prior meetings minute.
Okay, so you have the, okay, so also
It's
on
a
the
resolution,
agenda,
no, it's not a resolution.
no, she, well, we don't have to do a resolution for every motion.
Yeah. I'm saying
So
I just wrote it
y'all
down.
just wanna
Yes,
do that as a motion.
So that's
Yes.
the normal way of doing
Yeah.
things, it's just we got out of sync.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get us back on track.
Gotcha, okay, that's fine. Okay,
And can I just say one more thing?
yes, ma'am.
What is helpful is if the meeting minutes are done prior to the meeting, so if we can see them when you give us our agenda. So normally our agenda, we receive like on a Thursday or Friday prior to the meeting. If those meeting minutes are included when we receive our agenda, then we have a chance to review them so that we're not, taking more time reading through them real quick. And that way they're really truly ready to be adopted and approved at the meeting. Does
Okay,
that make
that's fine.
sense?
It does. I'll make sure the person that's actually handling this oversees this and make sure it's all done correctly.
Okay.
But the key is basically you want to have today's, for example, minutes and so forth ready for the next one.
Yeah, but we want to see it before we
Before
come to
you
the
actually
meeting.
do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Or else you won't be able to do it the first of the meeting. Yes,
And again, that's the first thing that goes on the agenda.
yes.
I mean, well, no,
That's
on
what
the
I'm
public
saying.
session, it would be
Yeah.
the first thing. Okay. Anything else, council? That's up, council. All right, can I get a motion to close the meeting, to adjourn the meeting, please? Second, can I get a second? Second. Okay, any nays?
No.
Okay, meeting is adjourned, it's 9:34.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. I love that, I love that.